We have breaking news as the NHL has screwed the Toronto Maple Leafs again, as a wild final decision has been made on the Bobby McMann play. We're going to break that down, as well as multiple other surprising updates with the Toronto Maple Leafs that have serious implications on the games later this week. We're going to break that all down in this episode of Leafs Digest. But before we get into all of that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. We've noticed that about 71% of you who watch these videos on the regular are not subscribed to the channel. So whether you're listening to us on audio platforms, watching on YouTube, or you found us on Facebook, if you're part of that 71%, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything to do with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Whether you love them or you hate them, we know there's no gray area, and we see you guys in the comments. Be sure to stay informed with everything happening with the Leafs. But guys, it's official. We were talking about it this morning and what might come of the Bobby McMann high stick, or whatever you want to call, slash to the head of Oliver Bjorkstrand. Well, it's official. He has been suspended for one game. He will officially miss the game against the San Jose Sharks on Thursday, which is a big one and has implications on, the standings, all of these things. And Macklin Celebrini has been very good. So he's going to miss that game on Thursday. Now, I have a problem with this play. Or not the play, excuse me. I mean, there is a problem with the play, of course, but I have a problem with the suspension. And you might be thinking, what is this guy talking about? He got slashed in the head. Of course you're going to get suspended, right? Not that that's the problem. There was a precedent set with plays like this, and the fact that the Leafs are getting suspensions instead of fines, I think, is ridiculous, and somebody has to start talking about it. So, I feel like something could be going awry here, but anyway, let's get into it. I'll play the clip here, and listen, anytime, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be suspended or at least fined. If you take a look at the clip, obviously, I don't think it's malicious, and I don't think that he's trying to hit him in the head. He's obviously trying to push him off, and then his stick hits him in the head. We see this so many times around the league, and we've seen it with Pierre Engvall years ago. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. But if you take a look at the clip, he does hit him in the head. This warrants some type of discipline, right? Whether it's a fine or a suspension. But based on the precedent set, I would imagine it would be a fine. So I was expecting him to get a fine. And listen, I don't think it was malicious, all of these things. I don't even think he was trying to hit him. I think they came together. They were pushing a little bit. He ended up hitting him in the head. It was an awkward play. But he hits him in the head, right? There has to be some discipline there. You're trying to remove those plays from the game. I'm not trying to dispute that or anything like that. But again, a precedent, and we'll get to the implications on the lineup in a second. A precedent has been set. And I mean, you can see this from Craig Berube. He said he didn't really have a good look at it, but he had a tough time with it last night. I don't think he really liked this play, just from what he saw on the bench. But of course, he didn't get a good look. And I'm sure we're going to get some comments from Craig Berube tomorrow morning when he has time to digest what just happened with this suspension. But you take a look at this. I mean, from a couple of years ago, this is why I'm upset about this. Bobby McMann had a hearing today. He got suspended one game for a play that I think was actually less worse than this. But still, I mean, he's getting hit in the head. But Engvall on Durzi, I mean, it was still an awkward play, and Engvall didn't try to slash him in the back of the head, but he did end up doing that. He got suspended one game. Here's my problem. The original precedent, not original, I should say. This was from December 2022. Right after that, a New York Ranger, the captain at the time, Jacob Trouba, baseball swung. I mean, it was Vladimir Guerrero-esque. A Vladimir Guerrero-esque swing to the side of the head of Trent Frederick when he was on the Boston Bruins, and he got a $5,000 fine. So the thing happens with Pierre Engvall, you get one game. Then a Ranger does it. You only get a $5,000 fine for something that was way more egregious. I mean, I don't have the clips here. I only have the Bobby McMann one. The Engvall one was pretty bad. The Trouba one is egregious if you go back and watch it. I'm telling you, it is George Springer in Game 6 to the side of the ear. And there's no suspension. It's a $5,000 fine. And now you have Bobby McMann getting suspended for one game, just like Pierre Engvall. It's a little interesting. We know that the Leafs are the most suspended team since George Parros took over Department of Player Safety, since getting knocked out by Colton Orr. It's no surprise, right? Like, remember when he was on the Montreal Canadiens? I'm just saying, and we've been saying it for a long time. We were talking about it last year too. It's interesting. We're just noticing. That's what I'm saying at this point. I don't like the suspension. It should have been a fine. If Trouba's was a fine, McMann should have been a fine, because it's the least egregious out of the three that I've shown in this video. That's just how I feel about it. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Bobby McMann has officially been suspended for one game. He will miss the game on Thursday. against the San Jose Sharks. A big one. Macklin Celebrini in town. He's one of the best goal scorers, not just goal scorers, but point producers in the entire league so far this year. But in terms of other updates with the team, let's get to that. And of course, a lot of people are calling it soft and stuff like that. Let me know how you feel about the McMann suspension in the comments below. With the team, things have changed in the last 6 or so games, maybe a little bit more than that. They're 5-1 in their last 6, and last night was a sign of good things to come. Tavares throwing punches, stuff like that. And of course, we were just talking about the rough stuff, but Tavares is still a leader on this team. And shout out to Leafs Latest for clipping this and putting this out there on Twitter as well, or X, or whatever we're calling it at this point. But this kind of set the tone early in the game that the Leafs are not going to be pushed around. They have been playing more physical. I like to see that. That is the caliber of hockey they have to play within this system, or else it doesn't work. Now you can see this from the last 7 games played. They're 5-1-1. That one loss coming in a shootout to the Montreal Canadiens. They have points in 5 straight games. They've scored 23 goals. They've only allowed 10 goals with a shutout from Dennis Hildeby and only allowing 1 goal against the Montreal Canadiens. They have a combined team save percentage of 9. It would be horrible if it was 5, but 956. And they're back within 3 points of first in the division, and they have 2 big games coming up against the Sharks and the Edmonton Oilers this weekend. So still a lot of things to work on, right? I don't like their dump and chase placement. I don't like that. I don't know why it's different this year. It was a lot different last year. They would just place and chase, and it was more strategic. If you want to rim it around the boards, put it high and off the glass. They're not doing stuff like that this year. I can't understand that yet. A lot of the same players are here, so they still need to figure that stuff out. The defensive structure looks a little bit better the last 7 games or so. They're still getting outshot, but last night against Tampa was way more controlled, and I think that is a recipe for success if they continue that way. You can see in their first 19 games of this season, they've already played 29 games. Can you believe that? With the condensed schedule because of the Olympics, of course, if the NHL ends up going. They allowed 72 goals, and they had a 3.79 goals allowed per game. Now, in their last 10 games, they have 20 goals against, which is significantly better, of course, and less game, obviously 9 less games played. But they've improved in both categories significantly. So things are headed in the right direction, just like we all predicted and definitely weren't freaking out about just a month ago, right? So as a defensive unit, obviously this from Leafs Latest, they're moving the puck much better. Troy Stecher has helped a lot. I feel like he comes down to earth too, but the work ethic is contagious, and I've been talking about this since last year. The work ethic is contagious. So let's talk about the lines now before we wrap up here. Obviously there's implications now moving into Thursday night's game against the San Jose Sharks. I would imagine Maccelli, you can already see him pictured here, would come back into the lineup for McMann in his spot. Robertson could factor back in because we know that's what they like to do, although they did win. So I wonder if Robertson stays out, they keep Yarncroke there, and they keep, and then they bring Maccelli back into the lineup. Or I wonder if Robertson comes back into the lineup, they keep Yarncroke there, and Maccelli stays out of the lineup. If Maccelli doesn't work his way back into the lineup, that's very interesting. Another thing to keep in mind, if you can see at the bottom right of your screen, Dakota Mermis is pictured here. He's being evaluated. It looks like he might be day-to-day. He took that knee-on-knee hit from Goncalves in the corner. So, it looks like he might be out. He probably won't play. Phil Myers will probably factor back into the lineup against the Sharks. So, very interesting developments here. Bobby McMann has been suspended for 1 game. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. And of course, the Leafs have been playing a lot better as of late. And stay tuned for another video tomorrow. We're going to have a significant, a massive, and a quite frankly shocking update on Chris Tanev and his health moving forward. It looks like it's heading in a very interesting direction, but ultimately he should be ready for the playoffs. And I'll leave you guys with that, because you might hear that and go, what? I thought he was going to be back soon. I'll leave you guys with that. We'll be back for another video tomorrow. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything Toronto Maple Leafs.